in case there is any part that you didn't, capture, and then I'll open it up to the representatives so you can listen to the representative from what you have presented, and then I'll come back to the senators.
No, Chair, just clarification on that infrastructure, because the problem is with everything the governor says, there are questions that arise. Now, I have a very specific question, Governor.
Can I request, Senator?
On that infrastructure alone?
Only?
Yes.
Okay. Because I want to be fair to the guests who have also been here.
Absolutely.
Since.
And Chair, you should remember that I am representing these people. So the questions I'm asking are not for Sifuna. I don't stay in Woodley. Governor, when we had this conversation last time about the joint ventures and how we determine how much allocation of houses the county gets, we only made reference to the cost of the land. But if indeed this agreement puts responsibility for critical infrastructure, including those public utilities, on the county government, because an estate, a home, is not just a building. All these amenities are also part of what makes the place livable. If indeed, then the cost of doing water, sewage, public roads, and other utilities I've seen here under clause 23C is on the responsibility of the county government, shouldn't you then get more units in terms of the additional cost that makes this place a livable estate? Otherwise, in my view, if you are a developer of a house, you cannot just build a house and leave and say we are selling units. You need access to water, you need access to that road infrastructure, you need access to sewerage. What would you say about that, as in, shouldn't we be getting more units given the fact that we as a people of Nairobi now have to pay that cost to make that estate livable?
In an ideal situation, yes, but all on-site infrastructure is covered by the developer, or including where they're doing a school or a social hall, etc. But the off-site infrastructure then comes back to the county government. That is the arrangement. But I'll allow the chief officer to get into more of those details.
Governor, I would advise, because some of us also are engaged in some of these urban planning issues. I would advise that some of these questions, if perhaps there's no concrete answer to them, just take them as feedback. Because my question was very, very specific on the integration of those infrastructure. And that's why you see Senator Sifuna would then have to ask more questions, even in that question that you've given, because that integration concept is not about just the investment that has made holistically in the city. Is how are these integration considered at this development planning phase? Because if, for instance, what Senator Sifuna is asking, if you're going to have a developer who's going to benefit from the infrastructure that you've put as a county, it's an investment you've made. And you need to have a value of the cost of investment that is there, so that your share must then be bolstered based on the contribution that you're making with that investment. But that I'll leave that for another time, because I know that I really want to hear. So can you just perhaps take a note, and then you'll be able to add them when we have added from the Chair. Or Senator, I can give you 1 minute, and then
Chair,
we go.
My mic has been on for a long time. It's a direct question, really, and a simple one. It's not every time that you have the governor of Nairobi here. These buildings are coming up every day, even before he does what he's doing. The buildings are coming up in Nairobi every day. All of them are still feeding on the same sewer system, the same infrastructure that was established those years. Maybe the question that the people in Nairobi would also want to hear is, I've heard of some development taking place this side of the city, but the biggest population, I think, is on the other side, Eastlands, Pumwani, Embakasi, that side. What are we doing about that, the sewer system, especially the sewer system? Every time you drive around that place, bus sewer all the time.
Chair, we can have a substantive meeting on all the water and sewer projects we're doing in the county. There are very, very many, including some that we launched during the tour we had a few weeks ago. There are very many, done by Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, being undertaken by the county government, being undertaken by Athi Water. So I'll be very open to come and give you a breakdown of all of those projects. Of sewer expansion, recently we are doing Umoja sewer expansion, we are doing some in Eastlands. And the water, that's what I was explaining, the water, the first problem has been just the sheer quantity that is needed vis-a-vis how we're working to increase the quantity that then is received from Nairobi. So I'm very happy, Chair, on a substantive discussion around that. So
just how these facilities are integrated to the entire development. That's the biggest concern we have.
But Chair, I want to assure you.
Just a moment, Governor. Yeah. Just to say that what Senator Wambua and Senator Sifuna are bringing up are very, very important. Because while the development of these 13 assets are going on, what they are saying is that they are not the only development that are going on. So there is this overall dependency of these facilities by other developments that are going on. We even talk about commercial development that are going on in Nairobi that are depending on sometimes this infrastructure. But we just wanted to have a case for integration. That's all. For how you think about access system, transport system, sewerage system, flooding system, and those kind of things. And you can give us that in writing at opportune time. But I don't want to belabor that because there are more substantive issues that we need to engage with them.
Unless you give you our entire development plan of the county. Chair, the county is an ongoing institution. We build roads every day. We have a plan for roads. We have a plan for sewer. We have a plan for water. Whether or not we are doing urban renewal, we'll still be doing it. And the assets we are doing will connect to that infrastructure, And remember, this urban renewal plan is not something that someone came up with last week or last year. There's been a lot of professional input. Of course, they're faulted in many areas of execution, but the engineers, the planners, the architects, the transport professionals have been sitting on this for years. Remember, it started during the time of the first administration. So, if you want a substantive discussion on all infrastructure, for instance, we say in Makadara constituency, because that is where we have many of them. We have Jericho, we have Bahati, we have national government is doing some in Makongeni, in all those areas. We can be able to present that so that you can see holistically. But I want to assure you, we're not just sitting, doing nothing, waiting for houses to come up, Chair. Please have that assurance.
No problem, Governor. Please. Can I give you 3 minutes? Can I do it in 3 minutes?
Yes, I'll be very.
Okay.
I'll be very quick. We have several projects in Nairobi in what we classify as phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1, you're all familiar with it. It's Pangani and Jivanji, which are under construction. Phase 2, we have Woodley, Lot 1, Kariobangi North, Bahati Lot 3, Maringo Lot 2, Jericho Lot 1, Jericho Lot 2, and Ziwani Estates. Of this, in phase 2, only Woodley is under construction. The rest are currently in the joint venture stage, where we are imminently about to sign with the partners that we have secured. Then we have another phase, which is what we are calling phase 3, which we will be advertising. Phase 3 comprises what we advertised in phase 2, which didn't get a developer, and now the new lots that we'll be putting out. These are Bahati Lot 1 and 2. Again, we might drop, based on our negotiations with the national government, we might drop Bahati and